Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Haley and I vlog and share about everyday life with mitochondrial disease and several chronic illnesses along with it. And today's video is another installment of my vacation series. We got robbed on vacation, so we lost the footage for most of the places we went, but we still have the memories and we have keepsakes, so I'm just very grateful to have that. But I'm going to jump in. The last video was all about our time in Lille, France and Antwerp, Belgium, and today I'm going to start talking about Amsterdam. And I love Amsterdam so much. I absolutely loved it. So we arrived to Amsterdam on Wednesday, June 26th, 2019. We drove from Antwerp, Belgium to there. I can't recall how long it is, but we arrived to our home away, which home away is basically the same thing as Airbnb, just a different website. So we had originally booked to stay at this one farm, and there was something happened and there ended up being a scheduling conflict or something happened. So we actually ended up staying at a different place that the original place we were going to stay at paid for, which was really nice of them. But we ended up staying at the cutest little, oh my gosh, I loved it. So you walk in, or I guess I'll put some of the footage of the outside of where we were staying. So there's the footage, and if you go through the front door, to the right is a front door. That was our unit. There was another unit here and here, if I'm not mistaken. And you walk in and it's initially a hallway, stairs, a bathroom, toilet room, I think. And then you go in this doorway and there's the kitchen and then the living area, I guess you would say. And we had the cutest backyard too. It was so cute. We had chickens visit us all day long. Oh my gosh, that made our day. And these chickens wanted to come inside because apparently the people who had been staying there before had stayed there for 2 months and they fed the chickens. So they were very, very friendly and came up and wanted to come inside, and it was so special. And we ended up loving where we were staying, and there was a little store, which I think I might have a picture of the store. If not, I know for sure I have a picture of the inside of the store, and it was all fresh fruits and vegetables. My brothers say, and dad and mom, I don't like apple juice, but they said that apple juice was amazing. The strawberries they had there, guys, tasted better than candy. It was just so special. I could be a day off, but I'm pretty sure that night I was infusing, that I started my weekly infusion, so we had to kind of improvise because we didn't have an IV stand. So my dad ended up rigging a hanger on the lamp and then an ironing board for the fluids to stay on, because we had to do gravity feeds for my albumin. And so I just laid there on the couch and I was tired, but I mean, guys, I was in Europe. So I have to say that the place we stayed at was actually about 30 minutes outside of the main central Amsterdam city center. But I'm going to refer to my travel journal now. So that night my mom made burgers and fries for us, and my parents went to the grocery store Coop to get all the food and stuff, and they found the best french fries ever. They were so good, so good. And then we all went to bed and fell asleep. We were exhausted. So the next day after that was Thursday, June 27th, and we started off our day by going into the city center. And we first walked to the cheese museum, but it was the cutest little cheese shop. I couldn't go in it because it wasn't accessible, which I will say, Amsterdam, unless you're in a power wheelchair, I would definitely say It's not one of the most accessible places, but at the same time I was still able to go to see a lot of different things. So it's kind of it's like everyone's free will, so you can decide for yourself if it's worth it or not, but that will be a whole nother video. And then after that, pretty much next door was the tulip store, and that was cute too. I mean, obviously all tulips. Like, there's also a tulip museum we didn't go in to see, but it was really cute, and we wanted to they had bulbs of so many different flowers, but they wouldn't have survived throughout our trip and back home, which made us really sad, but it was beautiful. And yeah, so we went there, and then after that we found a place to sit down and eat lunch, and after that we walked across the street to get a peek of the outside of the Anne Frank house. And if you don't know who Anne Frank is, I highly recommend you to Google it, because her story is just so, like, there's no words to describe it. And unfortunately I really wanted to go see her house, but it wasn't wheelchair accessible and there were only steps, so we weren't able to go inside, but we saw the outside, and definitely very humbling. And then after that we walked back to the parked car, which, might I say, that parking a wheelchair accessible van, I will put a picture of it on the screen, this big, when everything in Europe is made for small tiny cars. It wasn't the easiest to find handicap accessible parking, but it did happen. But on a side note, there was literally smart cars parked on the sidewalk, and like so many cars in Amsterdam were just little itty bitty tiny like smart cars and tiny cars. There was lots and lots of bikes. So, like I said, we went back to the parked car and we drove a few minutes to where we parked somewhere else. And then we walked over to a canal boat, which we got in and took a full canal boat tour, which this was something that me and my mom especially really wanted to do. We wanted to be able to like be in the canals and just like see a lot of different parts of Amsterdam, because we knew realistically we weren't going to see as much of it if we were not to go on a canal tour. So that was cool. So like they take you out into, what is it, the harbor? I'm trying to remember, my words are not coming to mind. That's besides the point. So and then we just went on a full canal boat tour. So I am going to, I'm sure I've already started playing the footage, but I'm so glad I have this footage that was on my main camera, and I have pictures as well. So enjoy this little snippet of what it was like on a canal boat tour in Amsterdam. And after that, we were all hungry. Our stomachs were still kind of weird, so from the jet lag. So we ended up getting a snack at like 3 p.m. But we went to a place called Pancakes Amsterdam. And I had done my research before we left for the trip. And this place, they have a few different locations, but this place have gluten-free and dairy-free Dutch pancakes, which were like huge, like a plate-sized pancake, super thin. But I'm not kidding, it is the best pancake, gluten-free pancake I have had in years. It was so good. We all got some. They had like savory, they had sweet, and me and my brother, we just got a plain one, and he got chocolate syrup, and then we had normal syrup, and I had some bacon to even out my blood sugar so I wouldn't be dealing too much with a weird blood sugar attack. But while we were sitting there, first I was actually freezing. I was in shorts and I was in this really cute blue top. But my dad read the forecast of the wrong place that day, so I was freezing my butt off. But it was something that made us laugh, and while we were sitting there eating our pancakes, we were right by this beautiful church, and we're like, I wonder what the history is behind this. And so I searched, and it was a church. I will put the name on the screen if I can find it. And if I'm not mistaken, Rembrandt is buried there, which Rembrandt is a painter, an artist, and his paintings are some of my favorite of all time. Like, truly, like, he was so incredibly talented. So we really wanted to go in, but it was closed, so we were sad, but it was okay. But we had so much fun this day in Amsterdam, and it was awesome. And so after all of that, I was pretty tired, I'm not gonna lie. Hey guys, we're just gonna pretend that I didn't accidentally delete the rest of this footage, but there were two things that happened that I completely forgot to share, and one of them is that my dad surprised me, my brother Justin, and my mom of going to a gluten-free store that had gluten-free stroop waffles, and they were the best stroop waffles ever, and they were so good. They were so good, and it was such a nice surprise being able to try a delicacy even with gluten intolerance of where we were at. And then the second thing we did was I actually had found, I think the night we got into Amsterdam, the night before, this day I'm talking about, I found a gluten-free vegan pizza place, and I got so excited because we don't get gluten-free, dairy-free pizza very often where we live. So I was really excited, so we went to this pizza place, and it was so cute inside, and the lady who ran it was very nice, but the pizza was just not good at all. And even if I remembered the name of the place, I wouldn't share it because I don't want to hurt feelings, but we were just disappointed that the pizza wasn't that great. But on the way back to the car, something that happened is that, well, in Amsterdam there are coffee shops and there are cafes. And in Amsterdam, cafes are what you would think as an authentic, genuine coffee shop, like a Starbucks or a Tim Hortons, right? They're called cafes in Amsterdam. And coffee shops in Amsterdam are basically pop bars. YouTube, don't come after me. Well, I don't even monetize my videos right now, so it shouldn't matter. But pop bars, basically. And so we were on our way back to our car, and I wasn't really paying attention to how close I was. I mean, the sidewalk wasn't super wide, but it wasn't super thin. Anyways, I should have paid more attention, but we ended up walking by a coffee shop, which is fine, like, whatever, no big deal. Except there was a man at a table, like they had a little like outside area, who breathed on me, who smoked on me, right as I was wheeling past. And it took me like 30 minutes to realize why our rental car reeked like marijuana, and why, like, and then I just figured it out, and I was like, oh my gosh. So that's what happened. For the whole rest of the day, I smelled like pot. It was amazing. Everybody probably thought I was having the time of my life, when in reality I was just having the stench of my life. And like, believe what you want to believe about coffee shops and all of that, I just personally don't like the smell. If it was odorless, I wouldn't have cared at all. But yeah, I kind of stunk up every place and everywhere for the whole rest of the day, which was an experience. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video of our first day in Amsterdam, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.